Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Mauricio from Gosh Darn TV, and today we're going to be here with Chris from Invalid. How's it going, man?
Great, brother. We just played a great set. It was really fun. It's always good to see all of our friends here at Bar Sinister. Always have a good time.
You know, from my first time coming to see like an industrial show and shit, like you guys put on one hell of a show, man. That shit was like super fun to watch.
Thank you.
So personally, I've known you for a long time. You know, we grew up fucking in the death metal scene, you know, playing shows and shit in some like little bars in Hemet and shit.
Yeah, that was fun.
What made you make the move from the death metal scene into the industrial scene, man?
Well, my heart has always been in industrial, even though a lot of the people around me weren't really into that type of music, into that style, which I understand. Being from the areas that we are, the scene was very small. And that's how eventually we got to work with each other. But from there, you get that experience, and then you take it home with you and refine what you really want to do. I still would be down to play metal, absolutely. I'm always going to have a piece of metal in my heart and all the hardcore stuff in the area that I came from. Play with whomever, whatever, whoever's really passionate about it. But in my heart, I've always been passionate about industrial music, specifically 90s industrial music, crossing over to guitar, getting a lot of heavy, intense, real true spirit industrial back into the elements. But I really want to repackage that for the new generation.
Right on. So when it comes to like your influences, you know, switching to a whole different scene from the deathcore scene, hardcore scene to like, you know, the industrial, who are like some of your like main influences making that transition over?
From the whole spectrum, there's only been about a couple, even from the industrial side, going back to the 80s, mid-90s, East Coast, West Coast. Seattle, especially, has had a pretty good scene for industrial bands. Killswitch Click, Screaming to God, which is from here in LA, actually. And then we got, I think it was Waiting for God. I think that was the one that was up in Numb, of course, from Vancouver, just like Skinny Puppy. Frontline Assembly, of course, all the originals that were like second generation industrial, I believe. Of course, all of them. And of course, even some people from the hardcore era, because you remember we had crossover bands. Right. We had the Browning, we had Arsonist Scale, the Girls, all the guys that brought their synthesizers into the mix. It's just like that. It's just more refined because there wasn't too many bands really hitting the hammer, hitting the nail on the head with that. Like Cybreed tried to do that a little bit to an extent. You know what I mean? We had a couple of bands in Europe, Silice. There was a couple there, but not really exactly the direction that I wanted to go. Like Youth Code or Controlled Bleeding, or just like industrial metal bands from the industrial side, like Schnit Oct and 17 KMFDM to an extent. Bands like that, really. But it was just the more and more I heard it, the least bands I heard really hit that mark, really do that mark for me. Numb did a pretty good fucking job. And even Static X kind of was in that area as well. Chem Lab too, I'm forgetting Chem Lab. Nine Inch Nails, of course, they were pretty fucking heavy, you know, just, it's a very small niche. So not a whole lot of people are into that, which I understand, you know, coming from the extremes of both genres. You're not really gonna hit a huge market playing stuff like that, but it's really what you want to, I mean, it boils down to what you want to hear, what you want to play, you know what I mean, what really your heart really is telling you the direction to go in. Obviously not a whole lot of people aren't really going to be on board with that, but this started off as a solo project and from there really blossomed. I got really lucky.
So who would your dream artist, dream band be to tour with or play a show with, you know, within the near future and stuff?
Well, Skinny Puppy's gone now, so I guess that's never gonna fucking happen. Maybe I might get lucky to play with Ogre or Kevin Key or somebody from Wax Trax, if I'm lucky to get into Chicago or play Cold Waves again or something like that. I'd love to play with Youth Code because right now I feel like they're the closest to the genre, to the subgenre, to that niche. I feel like we're right up there. We should be back to back because there's only so many bands out here that really have that hardcore industrial sound, hardcore energy, metal energy, the vocals, the total vibe of all of that stuff. The punk scene and the underground rap scene are really doing a great job of that, actually, matter of fact, in Los Angeles. I would recommend bands like Ramirez, of course, HO9909. Those guys fucking bring it every time, and I love their energy. It's like that. I really want to harness that crowd, because that's the new generation, and that's really the new industrial. That's really the direction that industrial should be headed to. Just open for everybody, all ages, all sizes, all genders, mosh pit, fuck each other up, but we still care for each other. We still love each other. We're not shitty to each other, and we respect the music because we want to fucking be there. We want to play that stuff, and we know that it's not for everybody, you know what I mean? But it's just, there's not too many people fucking doing it. Love you. But Youth Code for sure. Three Teeth, absolutely. It would be great to play with Chem Lab if they're available. I know that there's a lot more. Oh, my friends in we're doing a bunch of great stuff together with Pain Behavior, and we also have
Midnight Nightmare.
of course, Midnight Nightmare. Yeah, absolutely. Fuck yeah. Angel Nightmare is a fucking genius. I fucking love him so much. He's always been there, and he's on that spectrum too, of that hardcore industrial too, but he really fucking brings it. Him absolutely. His group. And of course Berserk too. He's a dope artist too. He plays heavy hardcore new metal style of music, but there's a whole scene in LA right now that I really want to gather and make a whole unit, because really we're pushing hard for that new age industrial sound, and there's a big scene coming up, and I'm very excited to be a part of that.
So growing up, man, we were both playing in metal bands, we were both drummers growing up and shit, playing tours and shit, little mini tours going all over the place. It was really fun, dude. How was the transition from being in the back and being a drummer, right? How has that transition been, moving all the way to the front and being like the focus of everybody's attention?
Well, when we were drummers, a lot of the weight was from the drums, especially back in the day, man. When it used to be kind of like a pissing contest. Everybody, like the guitarists, who could be the heaviest, the chugs, the tightest, the cleanest tone, guys like that, gearheads, and then you had the vocalists, who could be the nastiest, who could be the grimiest and stuff like that. So it was kind of just like a big ego battle, I feel like, in the generation that we were playing music in, and a lot of the weight was to the drums, because that was the driving force. So really, it was kind of easy to be ahead again, because of all of that. All of the drums were pushed up, we're like side by side with the guitarist. Everything is big, everything is angry, everything is loud. You own that side of the music spectrum when you're playing that instrument. And just singing is another instrument. Simply that. I mean, you play with your band, you get used to them. You guys don't even need to rehearse like headbanging. You guys wrote the music, so it's easy to just carry that energy into another field. Like, I'm learning guitar this year just because there's certain ideas that I want to convey in my music that not a lot of guitarists, because of like where you come from, what you started with, that's a big factor in the direction and how you write music and stuff like that. But I feel like, especially with this project that started off solo, it's best to learn all the instruments, just so you can help your bandmates. Your bandmates can help you. You guys could write music more as a unit, and the sound, it makes it even more intimate. It's really an intimate relationship when you learn your instrument. And when like when Alex and I jam, one of the greatest guitarists I've ever known, it's so easy for us to just play and write a beautiful song without even fucking thinking. We just go, just because the chemistry is there. He's so good at his instrument, he can just go without even thinking. Just like with us, the drums, you can just do it without even thinking. You know what I mean? You don't even have to really, you have so many ideas just spewing out your ass every day. It's kind of easy to just write something, put it on paper, structure it, and there you go. You got a song. So anywhere you really want to transition to, just spend time getting real close with that instrument. Get comfortable, and then you feel comfortable playing it. and then you can play the fucking kazoo and just be the hardest kazoo fucking player on stage with your hardcore band, with your industrial band, whatever band, really, you know. It's just feeling comfortable in your realm, with your painting, with the tools that you have, because you know every trick, every technique that you could possibly do with it. And that's really it. It's just being comfortable.
Is there any new music we can be expecting from Invalid anytime soon, man?
Oh, absolutely. We have a huge album coming. I'm trying to get it done by my birthday in July. I've been sitting on a lot of music that I've just been refining, waiting for the right producer. It's not easy because you can't just go to anybody with something like this. I really want to go with somebody who truly understands or comes from that background and just can work with me on that. Of course, I do a lot of that myself, but still, it's good to have that Atticus Ross factor, that other set of ears, and somebody that knows what they're doing to just comfortably bounce ideas off of and get the song, for the sake of the song, get it more airtight, stronger and stronger and stronger, and just sounding the way that it should be on the radio, on your phone. It's just I want to make this as clean, as clear, as good as I possibly can. So it's just been taking quite a bit of time, but give me a couple of months. I promise I'll give you something.
And then where can everyone find your music at, man? Go ahead and shout out your Instagrams, all that shit.
Instagram, INVA. We go with 2 forward slashes for the 2 L's. ID_LA for Los Angeles. Spotify, the same deal, just without the LA factor, just INVA / ID. That's how we spell our name. It's essentially Invalid with 2 L's, but we got to distinguish ourselves from every other band that's invalid or invalid or stuff like that. So we just have to brand ourselves, so to speak.
And that's been our little interview with Invalid. Fucking check them out. Pretty sick band. Put on a fucking amazing set and shit, man. Anything you want to say before we go?
Thank you for everybody taking the time to listen to our shitty music. Got our podcast.
Love you, brother.
Thanks for coming on, man.
So good seeing you, man. So good seeing you.
Love you, my man.